Hey everyone, this is Alice, your friendly neighborhood goth here, and just wanted to start off by apologizing for not making a video in like a month, despite wanting to. I just, sorry, my septum ring was doing a weird thing. I just have not had the energy to do this, so I'm going to try my best to do this now. And I've been meaning to make this specific video for like 2 weeks. So I am sorry in advance for this video. Okay, so anyway, I don't really know what I'm going to be doing for this video, but I'm just going to try to wing it as we go. So I've been interested in witchcraft and paganism since like 7th grade, and that's when I started looking into what they were about. And I started with Wicca because that was the most popular, I think, of all of the sort of subcategories of paganism, including neo-paganism, which Wicca is a part of. And the first book that I ever got, which I still have, is Wicca. And it's by DJ Conway, who's a pretty well-known author in the community. I do not consider myself Wiccan, but to me it is a good resource. I am an eclectic witch, and I'm an eclectic pagan. I kind of mash the two together because my spirituality and my craft, I kind of have like melded into each other. So this was the first book that I ever got. Still have it. It's very big. And so I take a lot from Wicca, and I have a bunch of other books. I have ones by Scott Cunningham and other authors. And I also am into Celtic paganism and the traditions of, Scotland, Ireland, pre-Christianity. And so I have some books from them as well. This is actually also from DJ Conway. I didn't realize that. This is Celtic Magic. And then I found one that was oddly specific and perfect for what I was looking for, and that's Scottish witchcraft and magic, because my background is Scottish, so I would rather do something that was closer to my culture. So I've not gotten through every single book that I have bought on paganism and witchcraft, but I'm getting there, and I'm still learning, so I'm not like the best resource for people, but I'm trying to help in any way that I can. With eclectic paganism, at least for me, there's no rules. So you draw upon whatever is relevant to you and whatever kind of calls to you. So for me, that's candle magic, that's using crystals and herbs as well for healing, and divination, including using a pendulum, and tarot cards, which I'm still working on. So there's that. So really, once I was more serious about getting into the actual craft part of witchcraft instead of just learning about it, I went and got books on what was relevant to me, and for me that my best resources were online and local metaphysical stores. So I got books like what I showed you, and I have a lot of books on crystals because I really like crystals. You can kind of see part of my crystal collection in the background. I have a bunch of crystals up there. That's not all of them by any means, but that's some of them. I also went and collected the herbs that I thought would be most useful, looking up their uses. And for me, for an example, I have lavender, which is good for healing. It just also smells really good. And I also have rosebuds and dried rose petals, which are good for love, among other things. And they also, something just fell off. They're also something that smells really good. So And then also a necessity is salt. This is salt that was charged under a full moon, so which for me is the best kind of salt. And then I also went and got my own, some people call it a grimoire, some people call it a book of shadows, my own journal sort of detailing my experience. So anything that I learned that I thought was especially useful, or any sort of spell that I did, I would write down what I did and what sort of reaction I got, and how I was feeling afterwards, because spells can suck a lot of energy. So I think this is honestly the most important part, is just sort of detailing your own journey and your own experience. There are a lot of resources online as well, and that, for me, that's on Tumblr. I follow a lot of witchy blogs, which, if you are into Tumblr, I would suggest checking out the links that I'm actually going to include in the description if you check out the actual video on YouTube, because I'm sure I'm going to post this on Facebook and Tumblr and everything. So that's where I would start if you want to get into witchcraft. Now, if you're looking specifically into eclectic witchcraft, there are no specific rules, because you're not part of a certain type of paganism, you're not, a certain type of witch. You don't have to follow specific rules, but saying that, keep in mind that it is not okay to borrow traditions from certain cultures. If that culture is closed off, if it's not looking for people that aren't part of that culture to join in, like, respect their boundaries. My only rule when it comes to witchcraft is that cultural appropriation is not okay. And I think that that's something that every witch should keep in mind. Also, for people who know me more closely, know that I deal with mental illness on a regular basis. It is very draining for me. I might go into that in another video, but I do not have a lot of energy most of the time. So it's very hard for me to make these videos, but also to actually practice my craft. So my best advice for people is to not worry about doing it every day. The way that I started out was, I started by just lighting candles, lighting incense, saying positive affirmations, bringing out positive energy. And that, I think, is the best way to start. It doesn't take a lot of effort on your part, and it doesn't take a lot of time. And I think that that is the best way to start out. So even if you don't have a lot of time to work on your craft, I think that it is a good idea to start out slow, see what calls out to you specifically, whether it's, like I said, whether you want to do something with herbs or crystals or candles, or if something specific is calling out to you. Don't try to do everything all at once. Try to focus on things that you think will be more worthwhile to you. And time is on your side in this case. So you don't have to work super fast if you don't want to. I know that there are some people in the witchy community that sort of stand as gatekeepers. There are people like this in every sort of subculture. I don't really know how to explain it, but that are just like, if you're not doing this, this, and this, then you are not part of this community, which is not true, and you should not believe. To quote Mary Lambert, I know I am because I said I am. And if you say that you're a witch, then you are a witch. You've already taken the first step, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. So I think I've covered the main parts of what I wanted to say. It's not very extensive because I'm still learning. There were a couple years in high school and part of college that I just took off practicing my craft and learning, and I'm just recently coming back to it within the past couple of years. So I am still learning, and I think that with witchcraft, you never really learn everything. Like, you're still continuously learning. I'm going to be an 85-year-old witch, and I'm still going to be learning. So, never tell yourself that you have to know everything, because you really don't. And I think I've covered everything that I wanted to say. So I will post some resources in the description box on this video so that you can get a better idea of where I'm coming from in terms of my inspiration. I also have a tag on my Tumblr. For those of you who know my Tumblr, I have a tag called Witchy Things that sort of is witchy inspiration for me, and then I also have a tag that's literally just the letter S, and that's my spiritual tag, and that has spells in it, that has, positive message relating to my spirituality, and it has just other things that make me feel better and sort of give me more creativity regarding my craft. So I'll post links to that, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.